Okay, now that we have seen error handling in Python, let's move on to the next topic, module in Python. What is modules in Python? Well, a module is just a file that contains Python code. It helps us organize our code into smaller and manageable parts. Instead of writing everything in one huge script, we can break our code into multiple files and reuse them whenever we need it. Okay, so in this video, we'll create a Python module and see them in action. So as I said, module is just a Python file. So first thing, we have to create a file. So let's take an example of a module where we can perform the math operations. Okay, so let's call this module as math operations.py. So this math operations is nothing but adding, subtracting, and multiplication and division operations. Okay, so it's a very basic module just to understand how this module works in Python. Okay, so this is one module and we have to perform various math operations. So for example, let's create a function add. Okay, so this function is for adding two numbers or three numbers. Okay, so let's say a comma b. Okay, so define add is a function and we are taking two parameters a and b and we are returning a plus b. Okay, we are returning a plus b. Okay, so similarly we will add another function, that is subtract. So this subtract will also take a and b. A and b is nothing but two numbers, and this is returning a minus b. Okay, this is returning a minus b. All right, similarly we'll create another function multiply. Okay, so this is also taking a comma b and it is returning a multiplied by b. Okay, now we have three functions inside one module. Okay, now let's say we want to perform some operations in our other Python file. Okay, for example, in our learn python.py. We don't always have to write the adding, subtracting, multiplication code in every Python file or in the whole project, right? So what we usually do is we usually import the module. Okay, we have a module called math operations.py, and in order to use whatever function in this math operations.py, we can import this math operation module inside the file where we want to access its functions. Okay, so importing can be done from here, import math operations, but you know what, the best practice is to import on the top of your file. Okay, on top of your Python file. So it is very simple, import math operations. Okay, import math operations. You don't need to specify the extension of this file, just import math operations, because this math operation is actually a module. Okay, this is how you import the module, and the moment you import this math operations, then this means that whatever function is here inside this math operations.py can be accessed inside this learn python.py. Okay, so let's let's take one example. Let's say not return, result is equal to, I will say math operations dot add. Okay, math operations. See, we are accessing this math operations module first, and inside this math operations module we have a function called add. Okay, why I am using open and close bracket is because, as I said in the beginning in the functions lesson, wherever you see this open and close bracket, that means it's a function. Okay, or it's a method. So since this is a function, I'm calling this add function, and in order for this add function to work, this function you see is expecting two parameters. Okay, so from here we have to pass the arguments. Arguments are nothing but the actual value that we want to add. Okay, so let's say 5 comma 10. Okay, we are passing 5 comma 10. So what we are doing here, we're actually accessing the math operations module, and in that math operations module we have a function called add. Okay, you see this dot, right? This dot is the way that we access some variables, classes, or functions inside a module. Okay, so math operations and then add. Okay, so that's why we use this dot. Okay, so whatever it is returning here, right? So whatever data or whatever the result it is returning here, because you see, how do I know it is returning something? In the add function, you see it is returning something, right? It is returning the value of a plus b. Okay, whatever number we pass, it is going to add it and it is going to return that. Okay, so returning means calculating something and giving the, giving the result back. So that result will be stored inside this result variable. Correct? So that's what we are doing here. Whatever result it is coming up with will be stored inside a result variable. And now we can print the result. Okay, we can print the result. So Python 3 learn Python, and you see here 15, right? 15 it is printing. So if you pass 25 plus 10, you see it is printing 35, right? Similarly, if you want to access some other functions inside this math operations module, you can do the same just by saying multiply result is equal to, again access the math operations module, and then okay, so you say multiply, then pass the arguments, let's say 20 comma 2. Okay, 20 comma 2. So you can simply say multiply result. Okay, you see 40 here. Okay, so these modules are useful when you want to access such operations, such functions inside multiple Python files. Then it would be very easy for you. Just import the module and use whatever functions it has. So that's how you create and use the Python modules.